my interpersonal communication project. My overarching goal is to be a good steward of my time and talent. There's actually a quote from Evan Carmichael which reads, "I want to inspire people. I want someone to look at me and say, because of you, I didn't give up." What this quote means to me is that as an educator in an alternative school, I would like my students to be the best that they can be. According to Carmenel's Uniquely You assessment, my behavior blend is steady competent, which means that I'm an easygoing, a good friend, and an empathetic listener. According to Queendom self-assessment, my relational style is insightfulness, which means that I step in other people's shoes. The positive influence on conversation based on my behavioral blend and relational style is I'm competent, I have good work ethic, and I'm law-abiding, and I'm also understanding. Next. The negative aspects of my relational style and behavioral blend is that I can be passive, quiet, and reserved, and I avoid conflict or confrontation. The majority of the barriers is in my workplace, which consists of many faculty and staff. One of the potential barriers that Burley Allen discusses is fatigue listening. Each week, we are required to have weekly staff meetings, which can cause fatigue listening. And one way I can deal with that is I can listen at level 2 and I can take notes. Another potential barrier that Burley Allen discusses is meanings on people, not words, which are simply misunderstandings in the workplace. And one way I can deal with that is to summarize often, or summarize what they were saying. The last potential barrier that Burley Allen discusses is effects on emotions on listening, which is basically that I'm often overprotective of my students because of their special needs. And one way I can deal with that is I can become more aware of this barrier and listen at level 1. The 3 major distractions or noise pollutions are deadlines and family and friends watching TV, and when my students, fidget. And we will go more into detail in this in the next 3 slides. The deadlines are internal. So as noted in my SC behavioral blend, I can get bogged down in work, which is projects, assignments in my school or at work. And some solutions are I can use a large calendar or planner to organize my thoughts better or my day better. I can create a large checklist. I can work out to clear my head. Another external noise pollution is when my friends watch TV, read text messages or emails while I'm trying to have a conversation with them. A solution to overcome that is to realize that the person is fake listening and disconnect from the conversation. Yet another external noise pollution is fidgeting and talking and not speaking loud enough. Some of my students who I work with are on medication, therefore they get nervous, they tap their pencil, etc. A solution to overcome that is to be patient, understanding, and to listen at level 1. In the film Fireproof, Michael, a friend and colleague, advised Captain Caleb Holt to fireproof his marriage, explaining to him that fireproof doesn't mean that fires will never come, but that when it comes, you will be able to withstand it. I will use Michael's advice to fireproof my relationships and establish 4 communication goals. Number 1, build self-confidence. Some strategies I will use to build self-confidence is to acknowledge identity issues and to assert the C aspects of my S-C behavioral blend. Number 2, provide better quality information. Some strategies that I will use is to provide better quality information and to avoid communication traps. And number 3, address conflict, confrontation head on. Some strategies is to recognize the flat brain syndrome, avoid the flat brain tango, and to use the I rational versus you blame approach. Finally, number 4, balancing communication with listening techniques. Instead of getting stuck in a listening rut to my friend's problems, I will practice various listening techniques so that we can move the conversation forward. To sum up my interpersonal communication project, I learned that communication is a very powerful tool and that listening well really does matter.